In 1974, two men vanished in Iceland within 10 months of each other. No bodies were ever found, no murder weapons, no physical evidence of any crime at all. And yet, 6 people confessed to killing them. One suspect spent over 2 years in solitary confinement. Another attempted suicide twice. And when the truth finally came out decades later, it raised a question that still has no answer. Were these men actually murdered at all? This is the case of the Reykjavik confessions. Iceland in the 1970s was one of the safest places on Earth. The entire country had a population of around 220,000 people. Major crimes were so rare, the country didn't even have a government body dedicated to finding missing persons. So when a quiet 18-year-old laborer named Gudmundur Einarsson went out drinking with friends on January 26, 1974, failed to hitch a ride home through the snow, and simply never arrived, the country had almost no framework for investigating his disappearance. Volunteer search parties looked for weeks. They found nothing. 10 months later, on November 19, 1974, a second man vanished. Geirfinnur Einarsson, a quiet construction worker with no relation to Gudmundur, left home after receiving a mysterious phone call. His wife heard him tell the unknown caller on the other end, quote, "I've already come," followed by, "I'll come." He then drove into town, parked his car near a cafe, left his keys in the ignition, stepped outside, and was never seen again. 2 men, same surname, no connection, 10 months apart, in a country where this almost never happened. Now, with 2 disappearances, detectives decided to investigate more seriously. Their first step was to trace the mysterious phone call that lured Geirfinnur out of his home. Witnesses described a man they had seen using a nearby phone booth that night. Police created a clay facial reconstruction from those descriptions and began showing it around. No one recognized the man, but rumors had been circulating around a local petty criminal named Sævar Ciesielski, a man known for stealing alcohol, forging checks, and telling his girlfriend openly about his desire to commit the perfect crime. In December 1975, Sævar was arrested for an unrelated embezzlement case. His girlfriend, Erla Bolladóttir, was arrested 2 days later. After 7 days of grueling interrogation and solitary confinement, Erla confessed to the fraud charges and was preparing to be released. But as she was about to walk free, investigators showed her a photograph of Gudmundur, the first man who had vanished. Erla admitted she recognized him from around Reykjavik. She mentioned a vague memory of the night he disappeared and a strange dream in which she heard Sævar's voice whispering outside her window. Police immediately asked if perhaps it hadn't been a dream at all. Then they sent her straight back into solitary confinement. After days of isolation with an 11-week-old baby at home, Erla began to doubt her own memory. She started asking herself, quote, "Is it possible they killed someone in the apartment, and I saw the whole thing and I can't remember?" After 6 hours of questioning on December 20th, she named Sævar and a friend, named Kristján Vidar, as possible suspects in Gudmundur's disappearance. She also mentioned coming home the day after Gudmundur vanished to find her bedsheet inexplicably missing. Investigators drew up a confession stating she had witnessed Sævar and 3 others carrying a body wrapped in that missing bedsheet. Erla, 20 years old, kept in solitary for days, and threatened with indefinite confinement, signed it. The following day, Sævar, who had been in solitary confinement throughout, was questioned for 10 hours, then 6 more hours the day after. When investigators finally showed him Erla's signed confession, he broke. He told them he was involved, along with 3 friends. Those friends were arrested, thrown into solitary confinement, interrogated repeatedly, and one by one, they confessed too. Then investigators returned to Erla and asked if perhaps the same group could have been responsible for the second disappearance. Geirfinnur's. She replied, quote, "Maybe." That was enough. She was told, quote, "We have reason to believe you have experienced something traumatic concerning Geirfinnur's disappearance, and we are going to help you remember." Back into solitary she went. By December 1976, all 6 suspects had confessed to involvement in both disappearances. Their stories kept changing. At one point, the murder of Geirfinnur had happened on a boat, then later on land. They all attempted to retract their confessions. The courts rejected every retraction. In December 1977, all 6 were found guilty and sentenced to prison, despite the fact that not a single body had ever been found, not a single murder weapon had ever been recovered, and not a single piece of physical evidence tied any of them to either disappearance. The conditions during their interrogations were shocking. Albert spent 88 days in solitary confinement. Erla spent 241 days. Gudjon spent 412 days. Tryggvi spent 627 days. Christian spent 682 days. And Sævar spent a staggering 741 days in solitary confinement, more than 2 full years. They were periodically deprived of sleep, interrogated hundreds of times, and according to prison staff, Sævar's head was repeatedly submerged in a bucket of water, and he was told he would drown unless he confessed. Christian attempted suicide twice during his detention. At one point, suspects were made to pose for recreated crime scene photographs, physically acting out the supposed murders, a technique now known to create false memories rather than reveal genuine ones. A young detective named Gisli Gudjonsson began to notice something deeply troubling. The suspects had no real knowledge of the crimes. Their memories were inconsistent, constantly changing, and filled with details that didn't match any known facts. Gisli went on to become one of the world's leading experts in false memory syndrome. He later stated that the diary kept by one of the suspects during his 14 months in solitary was the clearest example of false memory syndrome he had ever encountered. According to Gisli, quote, "These individuals had absolutely no knowledge of what happened. They were just trying to appease the police. They knew if they were not cooperative, they would be given more solitary confinement." In September 2018, more than 40 years after the original convictions, all 6 suspects were acquitted. By then, 2 of them, Sævar and Christian, had already died, both in their 50s. So what actually happened to the 2 missing men? There are 3 theories. The first is that the police were right all along, and the 6 convicted individuals genuinely committed the murders. But with no bodies, no weapons, and no physical evidence of any kind, this theory rests entirely on confessions that experts now widely agree were coerced. The second theory is that neither man was actually murdered. Disappearances were not uncommon in Iceland. In the 50 years prior to these cases, dozens of people had vanished across the country, most never explained. Iceland's vast, remote landscape and harsh winters make it entirely plausible that both men simply met with accidents that left no recoverable trace. The third and most compelling theory is that both men were killed, but by someone entirely different. New evidence included a witness who claimed to have seen 2 men carrying a weakened third man onto a boat on the night Geirfinnur disappeared. That man reportedly turned to the witness and said, quote, "Remember me," before the boat departed. When it returned, only the 2 men were on board. Decades later, that same witness claimed to have spotted one of those 2 men working on electricity lines in eastern Iceland, very much alive, very much free. 6 people lost years of their lives. 2 of them died in prison. 2 men vanished and were never found. And the real truth of what happened in Iceland in 1974 may never be known. What do you think happened? Drop your theory in the comments. And if you want more cases like this, subscribe to Mystery Minute. We'll be here every week, digging up the truth.